The foundation of a team. Every leader needs to know that there is an essential foundation to make any team successful. And it comprises of 4 C's. And if you understand these 4 essential components, you'll lay the groundwork of creating an amazing team around you. The first component of this foundation, the first C if you will, is the C of connection. That human-to-human connection within a team is extremely solid. And that connection is developed through the trust between the individuals, the openness between the individuals, the vulnerability that is displayed between the individuals of a team. And that really necessitates that the leader builds that culture, builds that attitude within a team. And so one of the ways that you can build this trust and connections between a team is that a leader goes first. A leader should be the first one to show the vulnerability that creates trust, to show the openness in needing help. So saying, I'm sorry, or I made that mistake, or I got that wrong, or that was a bad decision on my part. Those habits build trust within the team, that they know our leader is this way, so I can be like this way. I can make a mistake. I can learn from this decision. I can ask for help. I can say I'm sorry. These are the different things that build the connections within a team. The second way that people can build connections within a team is that people should care for one another. There should be time spent within teams in getting to know one another at a deeper level, asking about their concerns, their worries, what's going on in their life, being able to update each other regularly so that we are there to support one another and help one another and love one another. At the end of the day, that connection is an essential foundation for becoming an effective team. As a matter of fact, what kind of teams are we if we're not able to connect at that basic level? The second C in the foundation of a team is communication. And studies and research of team has shown that the most important element of a successful team is how they communicate, their ability to communicate with one another. And so communication is enhanced within teams at 2 levels, both really led by a leader. The first of them is active listening. Our ability to listen to different team members in different meetings and in different occasions, or whenever they have concerns or worries or doubts, listening is extremely important, and the leader dictates that active listening. That everybody's heard, that everybody's giving their time, that everybody is acknowledged for the things that they have to say. Active listening is an essential part of communication, and listening comes before speaking. But the second part is of course just as important, is that everybody contributes, everybody speaks up, everybody gives their opinion, everybody shares. And of course in teams, sometimes people are hesitant, people aren't opening up, people aren't sharing. So the leader must make sure that everybody's heard, that he or she is making sure that everybody's contributing to a discussion, or everybody's sharing their opinion, or everybody's giving their perspective. It's essential that communication is a 2-way street between every member. And research also shows that the most effective teams are teams that communicate directly with one another, not just waiting for their leader to initiate that communication. Communication is an essential foundation for teamwork. The third C in this foundation is commitment. That teams must be committed to be effective. And so in commitment, leaders should dictate how that commitment comes. And of course, many people complain about commitment. How do I get my team committed? How do I get people more committed? Well, it's important to understand it from a scientific perspective. The greatest motivation of people comes from within. So if I, as a leader, am able to tap in to that motivation that comes intrinsically, just within them naturally, then I am able to get more committed team members. So it's not just about that vision or being charismatic or being rah-rah. It's about how can I figure out the inner workings of my team and get them motivated. And one of the ways that you can do that easily is by knowing 2 things about every team member. The first are their strengths, and the second are their passions. If I understand the strengths of my team members, and I understand the things that they are passionate about, the things that they're really dedicated, they really love doing, and the things that they're really good at, then I am able to put them in a role where they will succeed. A lot of times commitment just happens because the leadership is putting people in the wrong position. And so there's no intrinsic drive. So people are naturally not committed because they don't want to do that task, they don't want to perform that job, they don't want that position. And we insist on keeping them there even though that drive is not internal. If you want to get commitment within teams, put people in position to succeed. And leaders do that by understanding the strengths of every single one of their team members and the passions of every single one of their team members and putting them in that position where they are committed themselves. You don't need the rah-rah, you don't need the motivational speeches. Sometimes it's just about putting the people in the right position for them to excel, and they'll take off on their own. And the last C in the foundation of a team is collaboration. You know, everything that I mentioned previously, connection, communication, commitment, that all sounds like a great group of people that just love to be together. They love hanging out, they love being with one another. But what separates a group of people that like to be with one another and a team? Well, a team has to have collaboration. There has to be a struggle, there has to be a problem, there has to be a conflict, there has to be a challenge, and they're trying to overcome it together. A lot of times we don't like this concept of having a conflict or having problems or having a challenge or having a struggle, but that is essential for collaboration. When people come together to achieve something, when people come together to get to somewhere, when people come together to execute on something, that makes them a more effective team. So we drive our teams. They become more invigorated, they're more driven, and they're more passionate when there's something that they're trying to overcome or achieve together. So we try to resolve our conflicts together, and we try to improve as a team, and we try to get to our achievements, and that collaboration is an essential part of our foundation. It's important that every single one of these components is present to build a foundation for great teams. There has to be connection between the team. There has to be communication. There has to be commitment, and there has to be collaboration. This foundation is laid by great leaders.